Go ahead and go straight for the vacuum pump here. In a plastic bag. You got a decent amount of power cord here. So this is metal, metal, plastic, metal, metal. Bottom here is plastic. We got dual connections here. Very cool. Not sure exactly what this cover's for. Okay, it's for the oil. So this is the oil cover. And this is where we're gonna put our oil in. All right, cool. And there is a power switch right over here and some venting back here. Let's go ahead and open this manifold gauge set. So it looks like we have a bag in here. Alright, so the bag is actually quite large. I guess it's made to house all of the accessories and parts in here. Got some pockets on the side and a little zip pocket here in the front. Okay, so it looks like maybe the vacuum pump fits in here also. Oh, okay, that's super cool. So you can fit all your stuff technically in here. Alright, so let's see what we got. So we have the user guide for the manifold gauge set. So most importantly here, the gauges themselves and the manifold part, which is this metal piece right here. These knobs are actually rubber. Feels pretty good. There's rubber protection around the gauges here. So this is all plastic. This is metal here, looks like aluminum. And it looks like we have brass fittings everywhere, and connectors. And then you got a little hook up there. So the two fittings here on the side are just dummy fittings, meaning they don't do anything. You just clip stuff away on them. And then these are the three that do something. And it looks like we do have a little T here that splits into two. So that could be useful if you do multiple things, I guess. So over here we have the air conditioning connectors to the low and high side. So this is the low side, I guess blue color here. And then the red color is the high side. Alright, so that's that. So we also get a little bonus can tab. So if you use cans to refill, this would be very useful because you have a little adapter. So you screw your can into here and then you connect this, to here. And last but not least, we have the hoses themselves. And there's 3 hoses, 3 different colors, red, blue, and yellow. And they're not crazy long, but should be plenty long for what you need it for. And they seem to be, the connectors are both the same on each side. So alright, so let's put some oil into that pump and hook everything up. Alright, so to put oil in here, we're just gonna unscrew this fill cap here. Go straight in there. And it does say maximum and minimum on there. And on the bottom is the drain, which if you want to change the oil, if you use this a lot, this is where you will drain that. So it looks like the oil brand is from the company. Pretty much it. So we're going to fill it about halfway between the minimum and the maximum. And that should be good. And we'll see how much of this will fit in there. Put a little more than we need to, so I kind of put it on max. That's alright. I think it'll be fine. So then we're just going to put this cap back on. This cap does breathe, by the way, so I think if you turn the compressor upside down, it might spill some oil, I'm not sure. So we have just a little bit of oil left. So connecting the hoses to this manifold here is super simple. Your red hose will obviously go on red here, your blue hose will go on blue, and your yellow hose will go right here in the middle. So yellow hose is the, either the vacuum or the charge. The blue hose is to the low side, I think, and the red hose here is to the high side. And you don't really need to tighten this up super hard. I mean, they're actually made where you just hand tighten them, and they should seal really good. So I actually realized that the hoses have 2 different ends. One end has like this little piece that kind of protrudes in there, that I guess could push a needle. Maybe that's what it's for. And the other one is just open like that. So I think the open side goes to the manifold. Alright, so just like that, color to color, the yellow goes in the middle. So I just hand tighten it, and I think that's enough. So on the other end, pretty simple. You're going to put the red to the red, and then the blue to the blue. And we should be ready to go. So this part here, we're going to actually connect to the vacuum pump. And then we're going to use this car here to pull a vacuum on it and see if we have any leaks. And so we're going to grab our manifold and we're going to hang it right here on the hood. So on this vehicle, the high port is right here and the low port is kind of hard to see it, but it's right there. We're just going to unscrew the little caps. So your high is going to be a larger diameter and your low is going to be a smaller diameter. And so to put it on, you just simply pull on this spring-loaded clamp here. You go into it and then you let it go and you should be able to connect. But before you do any kind of connecting, make sure your valves are all the way closed. That way, your freon's not going to be coming out. My system is completely empty because I changed the condenser in it, so then it won't matter. but in most cases you want to keep these shut unless you're actually doing something. So the low side is on. It's kind of hard to show you. Let me just show you here on the high side. So you just pull on it as you're going down, and just like that, it clips right on. So it looks like I do have some pressure in there. All right, so now that we got these two connected, so let's go ahead and unscrew one of these caps here. And then we're gonna take our yellow hose that comes from here and connect it to the compressor. All right, so that looks good. So on the gauges here, you can see that we are at zeros. We start drawing vacuum, this is gonna go into the negative. So you can see that -30, it's just a small amount, but you know, it should get close to -30. Or somewhere around there. So, but in any case, what we want to do is turn on the vacuum pump and let it vacuum the system for maybe about 30 minutes or so. So the longer you had your AC open to the environment, the longer you should probably pump the vacuum to get all the moisture out of the system. And after we're done pumping it, we're going to do the leak test so we can see, make sure that we don't have any leaks in the system. All right, so let's go ahead and turn the pump on. Alright, so that sounds good. It seems like it's running. But you can see here the gauges still haven't moved, and the reason why is because our valves are closed. So let's go ahead and open the high. And you can see that needle's moving. And go ahead and open the low. And there it goes. Pulling at 30. So yeah, so now we just need to leave it like that for a little while. Alright guys, so it's been about 30 minutes, and yeah, so we've been pumping for a while. So let's go ahead and shut these valves off, tighten them up real good. And so now we can turn off the compressor, or the vacuum pump. Should be able to hold that pressure. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. And our needles are sitting actually a little below the 30, so we're right at it. In any case, so just need to remember where they are right there, and then I'm gonna leave it like this for about an hour, and we'll see if those needles drop any. If they do drop, that means there's a leak somewhere in the system. And if they don't drop, we should be fine. And so after that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this yellow hose here to charge the system up with Freon. And the vacuum that's in the system is gonna help draw the Freon in the beginning. Alright guys, so it's been about an hour and the gauges have not moved even a tiny bit. So they're exactly where they were an hour ago. So it looks like we have a good sealed system. So we can go ahead and charge it with some Freon. So we need to take this yellow hose off of the pump here. We can go ahead and remove this compressor from here. Alright, so I got the hose connected to the fitting, and then I got it screwed onto the bottle. So we will need to crank the vehicle obviously and turn on the AC on high. Before doing that, I'm going to go ahead and puncture this thing to release the Freon that's in there. Alright, so I just ran this down and then back up, and it is released right now. So if I start unscrewing this knob here, it'll go into the system. And we can go ahead and see it here for a second. There you go, you see that? So it's actually going in. Even though we still have negative pressure because that's how much the whole system is. So I'm going to go ahead and crank the vehicle, and then we'll release this and we'll watch these gauges. Alright, and we're going to start releasing it into the system. So now it's going in. Sometimes it helps holding this upside down so it goes in there a lot better, and maybe even shaking it. So it looks like the compressor just turned on. I heard it. I can kind of see something in that sight right there. But there's one here also. You can kind of see there's some liquid in there. Seems like it's operating, but I'm not sure if it's working right or not. But let's go ahead and keep releasing it. Alright, so it's finally starting to fall. So I think it's starting to work now. Well, now it's going back up. I don't know, there's maybe something wrong with the system. Something doesn't feel right about this whole thing. Because this should be a lot lower than that one, but they're all equalized. I might have a different problem with this vehicle. Because this pressure won't drop. There it goes, it's dropping now. So it's accepting it now, and then it jumps right back up. So I guess maybe I should just wait. It'll start working. But I can still feel that there's plenty of Freon in this thing. It's still kind of full. Alright guys, so nothing really changed, and yeah, so I guess I'm gonna have to figure out what exactly is going on with this car. It's kind of crazy. So, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about this kit, and as you can see, it's a really nice one, and it seems to work great in reading the pressures, and there's no leaks or anything, and I hand tightened all these fittings. So we're gonna close the valves. I'm gonna disconnect the low. So the cool part is when you're storing this away to keep the connectors clean, on each side there's a little mounting tab like that. It goes on just like that. And same thing for the high pressure side. But for the yellow hose, there's really no place to go. You could unscrew this piece and then put the yellow hose on there, and then just throw this in the bag. In any case, something like this, I guess. So we actually still have some pressure left inside this system here because we closed these valves, so we can release that. And there they go. So pretty cool. And so when you're done with it, you can put it all in this bag, including the vacuum pump too. So it's a really nice kit.